Fala, rapaziada! Ó, o vídeo de hoje é o seguinte, velho. O nome do vídeo é assim, ó. I wrote an essay every day until I was fluent. Now I speak 9 languages. Eu escrevi um roteiro todo dia até eu ficar fluente. Hoje eu falo 9 idiomas.
¿Existe un método perfecto para aprender los idiomas? No.
No.
Pero
Yeah! Nós sabemos que não.
obviamente hay muchísimas cosas que puedes hacer para aumentar la posibilidad que finalmente llegues al punto en que tú puedas hablar, que tú
Yeah.
puedes decir algo, que puedes comunicar. Tako da danas hoćemo malo pričat o zašto ja mislim da schreiben, mein Freund. Warum ist Schreiben so wichtig? Wie viel und warum? Los geht's.
Pra que esse ódio com o Duolingo, Zus?
Ovviamente sarebbe incredibile parlare soltanto in inglese. Ho detto inglese, non in inglese, però nei altri lingue, però in questo canale io parlo più o meno soltanto l'inglese. Se vuoi davvero vedere come parlo, quale lingue parlo e tutto questo, go right here, okay? Or here, wherever they can put that thing, okay? Go learn me languages. Writing is so important because it will allow you to practice your active retrieval. All those things that you're listening, hearing, and all this stuff, it stays in a vague cloud inside your head until you go to pull it out. And that's when you realize
Nossa, a voz dele no inglês é muito boa, né, velho?
you don't actually know it. And that is the big issue with people that are using Duolingo and all the rest of it. Well, Duolingo has a whole lot of problems, all right? But some of the other stuff is half good, let's say. When you use writing for language learning, you're engaging in the exact same thing that you would have to do if you were trying to write on some subject that you didn't truly understand. It's gonna come out, and everyone's gonna know, and you yourself.
Writing expose your weakness, ok? Escrever expõe as suas fraquezas. Não só escrever, tá? Eu tô realmente entendendo. Não, escrever vai te ajudar, porque você vai ter que elaborar cerebral aqui, escrever. Mas falar expõe suas fraquezas também, porque talvez você sabe a palavra que você quer falar, mas você não sabe como estruturar numa frase. Então, também falar. Escrever e falar, velho, é umas coisas fundamentais que muitas pessoas deixam de lado. E eu mesmo já deixei muitas vezes de lado.
Yourself are going to know where your holes are and what you need to do to fix them. And that's why writing is so important. And so it goes without saying, and I've talked about this in other videos, but Heinrich Schliemann is one of the greatest examples of someone utilizing writing in order to make sure that he could further his language learning. Every day, a new essay on a subject exactly that you know about, that you are interested in. He would then have a native tutor correct that for him. He would memorize that entire essay, all right? And then he would go the next
Aí tá ali, tenha um cara pra corrigir. É tipo assim, se não tiver ninguém, GPT, tá, gente? GPT.
day, and then have to recite it from memory, write it from memory, etc. That part, you guys, by then, now you know you can try and utilize any other tactic you want. But the most important is having you to force yourself, your brain, your consciousness, to put things down concrete. And then you're going to find out, I don't know this word, I don't know that, I don't know this, I don't know this. And you can't hide like that, right? And I'm not saying that you will always be able to convey.
Quando você tá num nível igual eu sei muitas palavras soltas e não sei muito estruturar muito bem, então é mais fácil eu pensar o que eu não sei do que pensar o que eu sei, entendeu? Porque quando você pensa as suas fraquezas é muito mais rápido, muito mais prático esse objetivo de falha do que um objetivo de me engrandecer. Eu já sei o que eu tô falhando, então vamos melhorar isso, entendeu?
Convey everything that you've read. You will clearly have, if you're a beginner or intermediate, you'll have more understanding than you will the ability for you to can't hide like that, right? And I'm not saying that you will always be able to convey everything that you've read. You will clearly have, if you're a beginner or intermediate, you'll have more understanding than you will the ability for you to convey.
Isso aí é com o tempo.
Fine. What writing is going to do is give you confidence. So many of the beginner learners and our students, they have this idea that they're supposed to say everything perfect at the beginning. They don't understand. And so what happens to them is that they decide to then go and study grammar.
Pior que o pessoal acha que é do dia pra noite, tá ligado?
Because they think that if I know all the rules, then I'll be perfect. Or if I know all the words, I'll be perfect. And so they spend all their time doing that, and then they fumble when they're actually.
E tem muito nativo que fala errado, velho. Eles não falam igual a gramática do não sei o quê. Igual no Brasil. No Brasil, eu sou de Minas Gerais. Se você vier aqui, velho. Eu sou nascido de São Paulo, mas. Diadema, São Paulo, mas eu moro originalmente agora em Minas. E aqui, muita gente fala errado. Não é o português perfeito, mas você entende, tá ligado? Então, mano, foda-se.
Actually in real conversations. Well, writing allows for a stream of consciousness. It allows for you to do this. No one cares about your handwriting. You know whether or not you know the word. What we lay
Gostei
out
das
for you
dicas,
today
gostei.
is
Vou te
simply a way for you to
subscrever.
take 30 minutes or an hour and ensure
Curte
that you're
você.
getting something concrete out of your time. And so with that, we've already explained the essay, which I'm telling you, this is something that can change the way you learn. Not just languages, but things in general. Making sure that you understand something very concrete. I've talked about Feynman on this, American physicist. Plenty of you guys know who that is. Those of you that don't, go check out some of our other videos where we're discussing why you should be able to explain things in a very simple nature. Suffice it to say, this will not take you that long. So what it looks like in the very first method, you take any subject that you know at least a little bit, a few words or something about, or at least that you have an interest in. You write, you seek to communicate, all right? That's it. Seek to communicate an idea. What you need to do then, go to ChatGPT. Back in Schlieman's day, he didn't really have ChatGPT or Google or any of these other people. You need a native speaker. And I mean, I would still recommend that a native speaker still look at it. I just understand that majority of you guys aren't going to necessarily have that. So you can go to ChatGPT, say, I want to use this as a native speaker, I want to sound like a native speaker, and you simply go through and have it correct that. The memorization aspect is a huge thing for everybody, and I want to make sure that beginners, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't have enough words to write, yes you do. What you want to do is write a 50,000...
Sim, velho, sim. Você acha que não tem as palavras, mas tem, tá? Eu vou começar a fazer isso também, isso que ele tá falando, porque eu não tô fazendo. Eu não tô fazendo. Tá com delay minha voz. Mas não tô fazendo. Pera aí. Eu vou começar a fazer isso. Porque ajuda pra caramba. E eu vou fazer como se fosse um diário, tá ligado? E aí vai ser legal, vai ser legal, vai ser legal. Porque a gente acha que não tem as palavras, mas tem. Tem sim, tem sim.
Page book, you're not ready for that yet. Get down on paper whatever you can convey, because you have to do it in steps. And that's exactly what our method is about. You start here. You are here. It's fine. If you want to get over here, you have to take steps. None of you are going to break the new Olympic record by just walking out one day and sprinting here. You're not ready for that yet. Get down on paper whatever you can convey, because you have to do it in steps. And that's exactly what our method is about. You start here. You are here. It's fine. If you want to get over here, you have to take steps. None of you are going to break the new Olympic record by just walking out one day and sprinting faster than whoever it is. You're racing it. It doesn't make any sense. Why are we all trying to go so fast? Slow down. If you're a beginner, slow down. Convey what you can convey. You can check all that stuff out right down below if you want to get a taste.
É porque a pessoa quer ter o resultado de 10 anos, só que ela não quer os 10 anos. Ela só quer o ônus. Só o bônus, né? Ela não quer o ônus, tá ligado?
Taster or a test of what it is that we do in an artificial immersion method, go right down below, check it out. If not, just watch this video and just freaking start. I don't care, all right? And so you're probably thinking now, okay, well, that sounds simple enough. Well, we need to go deeper into this actual setup, because do I just write for 30 minutes? Do I just write for an hour? How do I do this? When do I stop? Or no, you guys, you set the timer for a minuscule amount of time, 2 to 5 minutes. Get down what you can get down. Stop there, review, have a look, see what you can do. Try to talk about then this
Peraí, o que ele falou aqui?
Actual setup, because do I just write for 30 minutes? Do I just write for an hour? How do I do this? When do I stop? Or no, you guys, you set the timer for a minute.
É porque o pessoal tem um problema com isso. Eles querem saber o passo a passo. Mano, eu sou uma das pessoas assim. Mano, mas e aí? Quanto que eu tenho que saber mesmo? Quanto? É 5 minutos? Eu faço 5 minutos. Eu sou pau mandado.
Minuscule amount of time, 2 to 5 minutes. Get down what you can get down. Stop there, review, have a look, see what you can do. Try to talk about then this from a different angle. Take the opposite angle. What you want to do is start to stretch your brain. And you don't want to do this until if you're at an intermediate or an advanced stage, then you already know that you can write a book or a bunch of pages and a bunch of nonsense. But from the beginner and intermediate stage, you want to be able to take the opposing view, take the view that I love dogs, one that I don't like them, the time when I got bit by a dog,
Sim.
the time when I bought my first dog, the time when my first dog
Eu
died.
tenho um
You
caderno
want to be
perfeito
able
para
to
isso.
talk and say and think about all these things, all right? And so the word language island, which I'd never run into, but is apparently a buzzword on there, is definitely something that is useful, because when you figure out this little subject and you can write and you have competence in this area, there you go. You start to feel like you actually have something, and you've gained some learning. And one good way for you to do that is writing. One of the best things is once you're done with this writing, of course, most of you want to speak. Most people do want to speak and be able to communicate, and that's why they're learning the language. So once you have your words and your stuff down, I'm assuming that you're learning a language where you can either write or read the script. You want to read this. You want to recite this. Do it in front of the mirror if you have to. Just get it out, record it, do whatever. But try to speak and feel natural. Act as if you are talking to someone. You can obviously do it in your head. That's perfectly fine too, but it helps for you to talk. Actively trying to convey this to someone else is going to help you, all right? And so that's what your daily setup should look like with writing. Now, if you are, once again, at the beginner, intermediate stage, you're gonna have to have some comprehensible input at the beginning. What is cool to do is, of course, to listen to something about a subject that you like about and then write about it yourself. The only thing I don't want you to do is try and write and remember exactly what they said and do all this stuff. You want to put things in your own words. That's why Schlieman's thing worked.
E às vezes você tem que usar o útil ao agradável. Eu gosto de ler todos os dias, tá? E eu tenho que estudar inglês todos os dias. É uma meta na minha cabeça. Às vezes eu leio. Se eu tenho que estudar inglês e eu tenho que ler independente do idioma, eu já leio em inglês, tá ligado? 2 coelhos numa caixa d'água. Às vezes, né? Todo dia que eu faço isso. E eu gosto de ler por diversão, então não é só a leitura do... Eu tô lendo Harry Potter em inglês, tá? Em português, esse aqui, ó. O nazista e o psiquiatras.
All right? That's why it worked. Because the ability for you to convey things in your own and write and remember exactly what they said and do all this stuff. You want to put things in your own words. That's why Schlieman's thing worked. All right? It's
Shuraimon. Parece o nome de Pokémon. Ah, eu não achei o cara.
Why it worked. Because the ability for you to convey things in your own mind and head will allow you to retain stuff better on. If you come up with it, the likelihood of you retaining that information goes up. We have research that understands this simple principle, right? So if I make up the story, hand it to you and tell you to memorize it, that's fine. But if you generate these thoughts and what you think about them, and if we use that as our core, you will be golden. There's another aspect of writing that you can get into that is a bit more monotonous, a bit more tedious, it's a bit more difficult, of course, and that is the strict translation. Now, trying to go word by word and trying to figure out and stuff like this is it's a disaster, especially if you're on a lower level, right?
Sim.
Just like extensive reading is where you simply read to enjoy reading at the level that you're at right now, and intensive reading is where you're actually taking a page, really trying to make sure you understand exactly everything that they're saying. This takes you much longer. If you can find ways to slow down, I guarantee you that your language learning will go up. You will achieve way more than if you simply try and speed through everything. The reason that it's so hard and the reason that you have to go back and relearn things, especially as beginners, intermediate, or if you've been listening or learning a language for a few years, is because it's not deeply ingrained. And if you want things to get deeply ingrained, you need to make sure you understand them. You don't forget what you understand. It'd be very hard for you to walk up to a bike and go, do I eat it? You're not going to do that, all right? And that's the same with language learning. Once you can achieve a good understanding of how you think and how you will feel, these words will pop up. It will pop up. It's an amazing feeling, and I want for every single person who's watching this, who's never experienced that, to know when they're in a situation where they want to convey something and you can feel that thing first, right? Because the word is secondary, all right? Words are a consequence of us trying to describe the reality that we are in. That is it. Words are not fundamental. The emotion, the feeling, the description, the picture, the image, this comes first, the word comes later. So you may have an urge at some point to describe something thinking, I don't really know that word, I can consciously know, and then it will come, all right? And so this is what writing can do for you. This video, once again, all these videos are just damn too long. Okay, stop doing Duolingo. See you later. Bye. Oh, check out everything that we have down below because it's good. There's free stuff too. All right.
Mano, eu assino embaixo de tudo que ele falou, tá? O bom é pessoas assim, pessoas que falam a verdade, não tenta vender um método. No começo do vídeo ele já falou. Mano, e é isso, velho. Eu vou ter que começar um diário também, que aí a escrita vai ser muito importante. A leitura eu já tô fazendo, a fala eu já tô fazendo e o listening, né? Eu já tô fazendo. Então, já era, meu filho.